Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking, and this time I'm looking at Hogwarts Legacy, developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Bros. Games in 2023. An open-world RPG set in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, home to beloved characters like Harry Potter, Luna Lovegood, and Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, Hogwarts Legacy promised to give the fans something they've been wanting for years, a fully explorable Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Hype was at an all-time high for what many anticipated to be a contender for Game of the Year, but then the LGB Twitter Mafia got their grubby little hands on it.
Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes!
All of a sudden, the mere notion of expressing desire to play the fun wizard game made you an intolerable hellspawn, leading a genocide against the idea of transgenderism, all because the creator of the franchise, who is so far removed from it at this point, doesn't pander to their every whim. Creators were bullied and threatened for saying they wanted to play the game. Streams of the game were raided with hate.
If you dare to use words that alienate two communities of people who have to deal with verbal biases like yours on a daily basis!
But it all backfired. It encouraged people tired of the ex-offenders to go out and buy the game just to spite them. So let's go ahead and do what the trans potters didn't do. Judge the game by the merits of what's actually contained on the disc. I wonder why the trans community wanted something to be judged on outside appearance and not physical characteristics. And let's give it everything we've got! The game begins with the main character getting a letter from Hogwarts Deputy Headmistress Weasley, announcing their admittance. Since this game has a pretty good character creator with no canon name, I'm just going to call him Jerry Nodder from this point forward. Jerry and his mentor, Professor Fig, are joined on their journey to Hogwarts by Ministry of Magic member George Osric, who warns them of Ranrock, a goblin leading a rebellion. Fig's late wife was investigating him, no doubt trying to find where the other letters in Ragnarok went, and only sent back a strange tube, which Jerry is able to open with his main character powers. A random dragon doesn't like this, so he smashes the carriage, killing Osric and sending the two important characters falling. Luckily, the tube contained the port key to their survival, as it teleports them to the Scottish Highlands. They make their way to the nearby ruins while Fig discusses his wife's research into a forgotten form of ancient magic. The ruins hold a wall with the same symbol from before, and touching it transports the duo to Gringotts Wizarding Bank, with the port key doubling as the key to Vault 12, a vault that's never been opened nor visited before. Apparently, the vault's owner likes to do a little trolling, as the goblin banker's instructions are to bring them to the vault and lock them inside. Luckily, Jerry learns the power of Revelio to uncover secrets. If you played this game, get ready to hear the word Revelio no less than 1,000 times. Revelio reveals a glowing symbol that transports them to a glowing glorified combat tutorial chamber. You smack up enemies with basic shots, protect yourself with Protego, and counterattack with Stupefy. It's pretty fun, but it'll hurt your trigger finger after a while. You also learn Lumos, so that's enlightening. The trials bring our hero to a pensive chamber, where he and Fig view the construction of the chamber by Charles Rookwood and Percival Rackham, also learning that the glow Jerry sees are the traces of ancient magic Fig's wife was studying. Their conversation is derailed by the arrival of Ranrock, the main villain. You know, it's hard to take him seriously when I can just hit him with the old Pat McAfee and win the day. Ranrock's forceful entry awakens the Chamber Guardian, who looks like that thing from the only good season of Legends of Tomorrow. The heroes teleport out of there and happen to arrive right outside of Hogwarts.
How convenient is that? Wow, how convenient is fucking that?
Their late arrival to the sorting ceremony earns them the ire of Headmaster Phineas Black, who speaks with the most comically evil British accent this side of a James Bond movie.
Fig, nice of you to join us. The sorting ceremony's over.
The goblin
Enough. Goblins. I've no time for rumors, Fig, and I'm rapidly losing whatever patience I had left.
Oh man, Hogwarts classes are a lot smaller than they used to be. Or I guess then they will be. Oh man, who in the flowery f*** is that? Anyway, we have to get our housing situation sorted. This sorting process in a $60 AAA game is somehow way less involved than the free game on a website, as you just answer 2 questions to get your house, so you can just reject that house and get a different one if you didn't get the one you wanted, which I don't think that's how that works, but then again, Harry didn't get in Slytherin because he didn't want to be, so maybe that is how it works. I don't care. There are some small differences depending on which house you get, but nothing too major. I got Gryffindor because main character. Also, for anyone waiting with bated breath to see some familiar faces, feel free to start breathing again, as Hogwarts Legacy takes place roughly 100 years before the Harry Potter saga. There are some vague ancestors around, like the aforementioned Professors Black and Weasley, as well as Professor Weasley's nephew Gareth Weasley, though. The two other important Gryffindorians are the daring Nellie Ogspire and the ever-studious Cressida Bloom, though they're mostly just side stuff. After meeting them, Jerry exits the dorm and is given a Hogwarts field guide to track his progress and prepare him for his owls. One way to do that is collecting field guide pages scattered all across the map that give some insight on the world. There's also combat challenges, exploration challenges, and more unlocked throughout the story. Completing a certain amount of each kind of challenge unlocks special rewards. The first two tasks on day one are to go to class. Oh, what fun. There's Charms class with Professor Ronan, where he learns Accio and plays the very addicting and occasionally frustrating Summoner's Court, and Defense Against the Dark Arts with Professor Hecat, where he learns Levioso. Of course, you can ignore those and explore Hogwarts to see other little secret side missions and puzzles hiding amongst the walls. Once classes get out, Jerry meets with Professor Weasley, who tasks him with heading out to the nearby town of Hogsmeade to buy supplies, as well as completing tasks from other professors to learn more spells. The first of which being a task from Professor Ronan, where the reward is learning the Reparo spell. These tasks can sometimes be annoying since they contain spells you need for story progression, but none of them are too bad. Jerry is accompanied by either Notsai Onai or Sebastian Sallow to Hogsmeade, as you take in how gorgeous this game's world is. Hogsmeade is full of shops to buy gear and items from, bringing us to my first main criticism with this game. Your gear slots fill up way too fast. I think it's strange for a game with so much customization to have an inventory limit in the first place, let alone one as restrictive as this. If you're taking your time enjoying and exploring the world, you will constantly run out of space and have to delete or sell items. Not even if you do the repetitive and time-consuming side quest that expands your inventory. There isn't even an efficient way to sell your items, you have to manually get rid of each one by one. As I mentioned before though, this game does have great customization, and you can set your appearance regardless of what you have equipped, so you can have the drip you want and the gear you want. They aren't mutually exclusive. After getting all the supplies from Hogsmeade, including a new wand from Ollivanders that you can customize to a weirdly specific degree, and that's not the only 10.5-inch wand I have, ladies! Anyway, this town is attacked by two armored trolls, with Jerry using his connection to ancient magic to defeat one. Once they help Officer Singer repair the damage, they come across a Ranrock conspiring with a man named Victor Rookwood to get Jerry. They return to Hogwarts after a brief visit to the Three Broomsticks bar, and Jerry meets with Professor Fig to discuss this development. And they learn that the next step on their journey is taking them to the very exciting library.
Well, I'm gonna do a book!
Oh.
After taking all the necessary steps to prepare for entering a library, which is frankly too many, he learns disillusionment from Slytherin's Sebastian Sallow and ventures into the restricted section with him by his side. Sebastian sneaks away to deal with the librarian right before Notter finds and enters an ancient magic antechamber that brings him to another pensive chamber, complete with a book. This one shows a group of wizards bringing life to an old town, and one of the townspeople, Isadora Morganach, later joining Hogwarts as a 5th year, just like Percival Rackham and our friend Jerry. School progresses normally while Professor Fig studies the book, including taking herbology class with Professor Garlick. She's someone I'd like to garlic, you know what I'm saying, fellas!
Shut up, man!
This is the introduction to plant power in this game, as they can be used to craft potions or as helpers in combat. Unfortunately, they take real time to grow like this is some mobile game. Notter knows not how to brew potions, so it's a good thing potions class with Professor Sharp is right up next. After that, Jerry meets up with nearly headless Nick, a ghost with a lead on where the book's missing pages may be. All he has to do is procure some rotten roast beef to be allowed to speak with the ghost of Richard Jackdaw, after finding his head, that is. Jackdaw flaps his jaw and agrees to lead Jerry to the cave in which he died, where he'll find the missing pages on his corpse, and the cave is filled with massive spiders! Woohoo! Jackdaw got his jaw jacked in a pensive chamber where the missing pages are found, and the entryway to the map chamber, where Percival Rackham resides in a portrait. He requests that the book be brought to him, and apparently his mere presence is so powerful that it unlocks the ability to upgrade. But since Percival doesn't have anywhere else house to be, he can wait while I learn how to fly and enter the room of requirement, which comes with a free lesson on evanescence.
Wake me up inside. I can't wake up inside. Save me.
Author's note, if you don't know who Amy Lee is, get the hell out of here. Professor Weasley gives Jerry access to the room of requirement to use as he pleases, which is brewing potions, growing plants, identifying gear, and eventually raising animals. In the spirit of people just giving him things, Sebastian reaches out to show off the Undercroft and teach him Confringo. After a brief interaction with the not at all sinisterly named Ominous Gaunt, we finally bring the book to the map chamber, where Percival reveals that Jerry has to undertake 4 trials, each designed by a different member of the Keepers. Hello, plot structure. Jerry journeys to the Temple of San Bakar and ventures through the first trial, complete with a boss fight against a pensive guardian to find another memory. This one shows Percival teaching Isadora how to control ancient magic, and her desire to take away her father's pain, then flashing forward to show her returning to Hogwarts as a defense against the dark arts teacher. I give her a year. Back at the map chamber, Charles Rookwood appears in a painting to inform them about the next trial, but the growing goblin threat puts it on ice as we fall into a new season. Since video game protagonists rarely have any sense of priorities, Jerry's first step is to help Hogwarts groundskeeper Gladwin Moon clear the faculty tower of demiguise statues, and since it's forbidden to wander around at night, he'll need to sneak around. And to help him get past locked doors, Gladwin teaches him Alohomora. After that, Jerry learns where to find fantastic beasts and how to groom them with help from Hufflepuff's Poppy Sweeting, a Puffskein named Gerald, and a Kneazle named Persephone, no doubt because Poppy is a big fan of Bioshock 2. She's also a big fan of Jerry and decides to introduce him to her hippogriff friend Highwing and warn him about poachers in the area. You can actually raise lots of beasts in the Room of Requirement like Puffskeins, Kneazles, Jobberknolls, Mooncalves, Nifflers, and even frickin' unicorns. Now it's time to focus on the evil goblins trying to kill him as he ventures to Hogsmeade to meet Lodgok, a goblin willing to help against Ranrock. However, their relationship is a bit Ranrocky at the moment, so Lodgok wants Jerry to retrieve an old stolen goblin artifact so he can give it to Ranrock to make amends. And since it's located in the tomb of the witch who stole it, this game is officially more about tomb raiding than any of Lara Croft's recent adventures. Jerry goes through all the trouble of navigating the tomb's puzzles and defeating the undead Inferius just to find that one of Victor Rookwood's Ashwinders already took the artifact, so he had to find the Ashwinder camp and steal it back. I don't think this is supposed to happen, but all the Ashwinders were busy fighting a forest troll, so I just got to sneak past them and take the helmet, then watch as the troll took them all out.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Back in the Room of Requirement, Deke teaches Jerry about the Enchanted Loom, which can be used to apply traits and upgrades to your gear. It's very helpful if you remember it's there. While Lodgok speaks with Ranrock, Jerry pays a visit to Sebastian to meet his sister, who has been cursed by Ranrock's loyalists, and their uncle, who has given up on finding a cure. Seabass takes Jerry to the place where Anne was cursed and summarizes the general plot of this game to this point.
You have Ranrock and Rookwood after you because of something you found at Gringotts, where you ended up via a port key. You can see traces of an ancient magic that you think Ranrock is trying to harness. And now you've been witnessing memories left by Keepers. Oh, and this house belonged to a Hogwarts professor who was one of these non-Quidditch keepers hundreds of years ago.
Searching Isadora's old house uncovers a passageway to the Undercroft that reveals a cryptic triptych with 2 missing panels. Sebastian plans to talk to Ominous about it, mentioning Salazar Slytherin's secret scriptorium somewhere in the school that may have some answers. The next step is to assist Natty with infiltrating a castle to retrieve a letter that implicates Harlow and Rookwood with Ranrock, though a new wrinkle is added when they find that the poachers have captured Highwing, so Natty retrieves the letter while Jerry rescues the hippogriff. That gives Sebastian enough time to talk to Ominous and reach out, unfortunately with no new developments. Jerry manages to convince Ominous after he discusses his family's use of dark magic and his disagreement with it. For those wondering, Ominous is a direct descendant of Salazar Slytherin, and directly related to Lord Voldemort, as his mother was also a Gaunt. However, the direct connection between the two is unknown. The trio venture through the Scriptorium maze and discover the remains of Ominous' aunt, who also didn't want the family to use dark magic. They're trapped down there, and the only way out is to cast the Cruciatus curse on someone, one of the 3 unforgivable curses. Ominous won't do it, so the only options are Sebastian doing it to Jerry, or Jerry doing it to Sebastian. Sebastian finds a Salazar spellbook to study, and Jerry finds a note about the Chamber of Secrets' resident monster, something that won't matter for at least 100 years, because we don't have a young Ginny Weasley to go around and mess things up. This is the first of a series of side missions where Jerry can learn all 3 unforgivable curses.
Imperio Crucio Avada Kedavra.
I didn't learn them because I like to play the hero, but you can, if you're evil. Now there's no time to waste completing the second trial, except all the time we wasted, as it's located in Rookwood Castle, where a large group of dark wizards and goblins are located, and a powerful source of magic we can't let them get their hands on. And they already got their hands on it. The only way to have a chance to stop them is to pass the next trial, which is yet more puzzly goodness leading to another pensive. This one shows Isadora siphoning the pain out of her father to the shock of the keepers. Returning to the map chamber brings about the debut of the third keeper, Neve Fitzgerald, in quite possibly the biggest disparity between how a word is pronounced and how it's spelled. While she prepares the next trial, we roll out into the winter season, because nothing says urgency like the plot of your game taking place over the course of a whole year. The first order of business is meeting with Poppy to uncover Horntail Hall, a secret base for the poachers. They find that Horntail Hall is a hidden underground dragon fighting ring, nabbing a dragon egg for themselves as they take out the poachers and free the dragons. Also, it's around this point that you'll be able to purchase your own shop in Hogsmeade, leading to the most out-of-nowhere amazing side mission in the game as you're trapped in a magic labyrinth by a sociopathic ghost using you as a toy for his enjoyment as you fight mannequins and a monster that flips your screen, all as a part of the scheme of Dark Wizard Cassandra Morgan. It far exceeds pretty much everything in the main story, and you could just completely miss it. Speaking of the main story, Lodgok finally has something to report. Ranrock is searching for repositories crafted from goblin metal that he believes contain a powerful magic that wizards want to keep for themselves, one of which we saw in Rookwood's castle. In order to find what he's planning next, Jerry sneaks into the nearby goblin mine and discovers that the goblins are building gigantic drills to uncover the hidden repositories. Once reunited with Lodgok, he reveals that he opposes Ranrock because he met Professor Fig's wife, Miriam, while searching for one of the repositories. They agreed to help each other with their studies, and the respect she showed him made him rethink his views on witches and wizards. It was only furthered by Ranrock's growing madness and the increasing likelihood that he was behind Miriam's death. Maybe we'll learn more about Ranrock's plans with Sebastian, who has found the location from the triptych in a nearby cave being searched by goblins. They find another piece of the triptych and a journal entry from Isadora about the joys of taking the pain out of people. Sebastian recognizes the location on the fabric, but isn't too keen on going there as it's very heavily protected by Ranrock's forces. Jerry goes to talk to Lodgok about it, but Sebastian isn't having any of this goblin collusion. Excuse me, Sebastian, not all goblins, okay? Not all goblins. In order to prepare for this ordeal, it's time for Jerry to take on the third trial, fortunately located in the headmaster's office. Unfortunately, Headmaster Black isn't keen on helping. However, Professor Fig just so happens to have a Professor Black Polyjuice potion on hand, and there's no furry shit with this one. Once inside the office, Jerry is subjected to, by far, the best trial as he's stuck into a storybook, complete with an inked comic book art style and loads of Grim Reapers looking for him. He is first led to the Cloak of Invisibility, which helps guide him to the Elder Wand, allowing him to combat and overcome Death's shadows on his path to the Philosopher's/Sorcerer's Stone. He is then brought to the deathly hallowed ground of Isadora's resting place, where the next pensive chamber awaits. This one shows what you pretty much figured out already if you were paying attention. Isadora created the repositories Ranrock is after to contain the traces of magic left behind by her emotion extraction, much to the shock and dismay of Neve. Neve's chapter may be over, but the story has yet to be finished. There's one more trial left, organized by Professor San Bakar. He needs time to discuss the situation with the Keepers, so there's no better time to meet up with Sebastian to continue the triptych investigation, though lacking help from the Keepers is getting on his nerves. They venture through the ruined tower to find the last third of the Triforce, and restoring it summons another pensive, showing the power of Isadora's pain removal and the magic it leaves behind. However, since her magical painting has been destroyed, she can't appear to explain herself. Sebastian wants Jerry to use Isadora's magic to cure his sister's curse, but Jerry is hesitant. Before he can talk to the Keepers about it though, he has to go check up on Lodgok and Ranrock's mine.
You are a traitor to our kind!
Oh. Well. That went poorly. Also, I like how Rookwood immediately turned on Ranrock when he figured out that Ranrock no longer had use for him. With the untimely demise of Lodgok resulting in Ranrock knowing the location of the last repository, we gotta skip the spinning rims on this whole trial thing and jump into the final one. This trial is short but effective, as all you have to do is fight a gigantic Graphorn and befriend him. That's all. The final pensive shows the end of Isadora's story, as the Keepers are left to no choice but to kill her after she starts taking all the emotions out of students so they no longer feel pain or anything. And it just so happens that the final repository is located right under Hogwarts.
What a coinkydink.
But before Jerry can get down there and save the day, he has to forge a special wand to gain access.
I'm afraid you're on your own. I've ensured that we have a moment to ourselves. Oh, come. No need for such theatrics. In light of what Ranrock now knows, you must agree that our interests are aligned. The final repository belongs to wizard kind. We would be fools not to work together. Should have known better than to try and reason with a child. I've always said, children should be seen and not heard.
Oh, hello impromptu boss fight. Goodbye impromptu boss fight. But seriously though, this fight is fun, as is the reveal that he's the one who cursed Anne. With Rookwood dead and the wand acquired, the path to the final repository is opened. We fought through trials and risked our lives just for this one moment to arrive. And the goblins did it with some drills. Cool. The Hogwarts professors show up to assist in the fight and help Jerry and Fig get to the final repository, where Ranrock just appears for plot reasons, now with Miriam's wand. He destroys the repository and absorbs the magic, which somehow transforms him into a weird dragon thing, just in time for the final boss fight. This fight isn't too hard, it's basically just an elongated variation of the pensive Guardian fights. With Ranrock down, the ancient magic is free, and Jerry finds it within himself to contain it all, though the effort Professor Fig exerted to help cost him his life. With a memorial from Black and Weasley, he is immortalized in their memories, even though they can't share the circumstances surrounding his death. And after taking your OWLs, you learn that all the effort you went through was only worth 100 house points. Worth it! So my experience with Harry Potter begins and ends with the movies because I'm not f***ing lame. Just kidding, the movies are good, just fantasy wasn't my thing as a kid. My style was more Hunger Games, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Spy School, Swindle, and that one with the mouse guy, among others. I'm basically saying that I'm not biased in my opinion on this game. I don't think this game is a 10 out of 10 smash success, nor do I think it's a 0 out of 10 stain on J.K. Rowling's legacy or a death sentence to trans people, but it is far from being bad. And I feel bad for all the people who avoided playing this gem out of fear of online backlash from an annoyingly vocal minority, or the people who genuinely believe this game is a threat to their existence.
Please, shut the fuck up!
The story has some flaws, like the villains never really feel that threatening or imposing, and most of the game consists of the main character just doing things other people tell or ask him to do. However, the story isn't the selling point here. It's how alive the world feels, how detailed Hogwarts and the surrounding area is. All the different secrets, references, and history you can find just by exploring. The different creatures you can see and characters you can interact with. I spent hours just roaming around looking for field guide pages, doing random side missions, and catching and raising beasts. This game also has some of the best character customization you can find. There are so many different outfit choices waiting to be found, and you will rarely ever see two player characters that look the same. The gameplay itself is also very fun, though the constant spamming of the right trigger with haptic feedback will probably tire out your finger rather quickly. There's such a wide variety of magic spells you can use, and you can have 4 saved presets to switch between quickly. I do wish the game took place over more than just 1 year, though. Something similar to the actual Harry Potter story, where it grows in complexity and seriousness the further along it goes. Randomly starting as a 5th year feels like a quick excuse to have an older protagonist who can gain access to all the spells in short order. I also wish the story had more lasting power in the world than a huge event in Hogwarts history that no one has ever nor will ever speak about because it's a secret. That's not how a legacy works. Regardless, the final score for Hogwarts Legacy is a 9 out of 10. The game is, for lack of a better word, magical. There is so much fun to be had in the world, exploring everything there is to offer, engaging with all the characters, and being the witch or wizard that you want to be. There are just a few pitfalls here and there that prevent me from considering it a Hall of Fame entry with a 9.5 or a 10 score. Now, I think it's time we return to the real world with the real people. You know, the kinds of people who dress up in costumes and swing from buildings, or theme themselves after animals. Yeah, that's the America I know and love. I hope to see you there.
Continue?
Aw, that's sweet. I hate sweet. I need photos. Photos of Spider-Man.